Imagine standing on the edge of an empire that seemed unstoppable. An army that had marched across deserts, crushed rebellions, taken ancient cities, and challenged the most powerful sultan in the Muslim world. In the 1830s, the world watched with disbelief as Egypt, once a province of the Ottoman Empire, rose under Muhammad Ali Pasha and threatened to reshape the entire Middle East. It looked like nothing could stop Egypt's expansion. But in 1840, everything changed. What followed was one of the most dramatic political reversals in modern Middle Eastern history. Egypt was forced to give up almost all of the land it had conquered. And the reason why is a story of power, fear, and global politics. To understand why Egypt lost so much territory, the story must begin with Muhammad Ali Pasha, the Ottoman governor of Egypt who built a modern, disciplined, and extremely powerful army. This military force was unlike anything the region had seen in centuries. By the late 1820s and early 1830s, Egypt's army defeated the Wahhabi forces in Arabia, intervened in Greece, and then turned its attention toward the Ottoman Empire itself. When Muhammad Ali's son, Ibrahim Pasha, marched into Syria in 1831, Egypt's power became impossible to ignore. The Egyptian army crushed Ottoman forces again and again, advancing all the way to Anatolia. In 1833, the Ottomans were so desperate that the empire asked Russia, its longtime enemy, for help. The result was the Treaty of Kudahiyya, which gave Egypt control of Syria, Palestine, Crete, and the Hijaz. Egypt now controlled some of the richest and most strategic lands of the empire. It was clear to every major power Egypt was becoming too strong. But Muhammad Ali wanted more. The Ottoman Sultan demanded that Egypt return the lands, and Muhammad Ali refused. By 1839, war erupted again. Egyptian forces defeated the Ottomans at the Battle of Nezib, and the entire Ottoman fleet defected to Egypt. For a brief moment, the Ottoman Empire stood on the edge of collapse. If Egypt had been left alone, there is little doubt that Muhammad Ali could have replaced the Ottoman Sultan and created a new empire stretching from Cairo to Anatolia. And this is exactly why Egypt was forced to give up its lands. The European powers, Britain, Austria, Prussia, and Russia, could not allow Egypt to grow into a new regional empire. A powerful independent Egypt controlling Syria and threatening Ottoman territory would disrupt the delicate balance of power. Britain feared that Egypt could threaten routes to India. Austria feared instability in the eastern Mediterranean. Russia wanted the Ottomans weak but not replaced by an ambitious new empire. Only one country supported Egypt, France. But France was isolated, and the other powers were united. In 1840, these nations gathered to sign the London Convention of 1840, a diplomatic agreement designed specifically to stop Muhammad Ali. The message was clear: Egypt must return Syria, Palestine, Crete, and all other territories. Muhammad Ali could keep ruling Egypt, and Egypt would become hereditary, but only if he obeyed. If he refused, the European powers would use force. Muhammad Ali refused, and the European powers acted immediately. British and Austrian warships bombarded Lebanese and Syrian ports, cut Egyptian supply lines, and supported local revolts against Egyptian rule. The Egyptian army, isolated and overwhelmed, began to collapse. By the end of the campaign, Muhammad Ali had no choice. Under immense international pressure and military defeat, Egypt accepted the terms. In 1840, Egypt surrendered Syria, Palestine, Crete, and the Hijaz. What had been a vast empire was reduced back to its core territory. Egypt survived, but Egypt's dream of becoming the new empire of the Middle East died forever. Muhammad Ali kept one victory: Egypt became hereditary. His family would rule Egypt until the revolution of 1952. But the territorial losses of 1840 changed the region permanently. Egypt went from being the rising power of the Middle East to a controlled state whose limits were defined by Europe. The story of 1840 is not simply about land. It is about global politics, fear of a rising power, and the moment the world decided that Egypt could not be allowed to become an empire. It is a reminder that in the 19th century, military victory was not enough. What truly shaped nations was the power of diplomacy, and the decisions made in European capitals far from the deserts where Egyptian soldiers once marched victorious. If you enjoyed this video, then like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel.